Can Australia win the Ashes if Pat Cummins doesn't play 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, 4 tests, or 5 tests?
Yeah.
What's the barometer there?
No, he can win. They can win with him playing no tests.
How does that happen?
Because they've still got the best bowling attack even without him.
Hazelwood, wouldn't you say it's unlikely he's going to be able to bowl all 5? Let's say Cummins can't bowl, right? At all.
If Cummins can't bowl at all and Hazelwood plays in 3 tests, they still have the best bowling attack.
And they will win?
They might win. You said, was it possible they will win, didn't you?
Anything's possible. India were bowled out for 36 and came back to win the series in Australia.
They can win without Cummins, but obviously it changes quite a lot. It also changes their batting order a little bit, right? Because if Boland comes in, and the problem is I think they'll rest Hazelwood at one stage, but if Hazelwood or Stark get injured, then they have all sorts of problems. And the last time that Boland played against England, he got smashed everywhere, right? I know everyone remembers the series before, but last time he didn't do as well. So there are questions there, but I think Hazelwood and Stark, and on their current form, is still better than England's bowling attack.
Yeah, but what about Australia's
batting?
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
It's not just a bowl off.
Yeah, I agree. I think they can win without Cummins because they're at home.
They can win, but will they?
Will they?
If he was to miss all 5 test matches, when you consider what that would do, and their pitches as well, which you assume won't favour Nathan Lyon. If you were to put both teams together, having Nathan Lyon bowl consistently would be a huge benefit or bonus for Australia for a variety of reasons.
They may not even pick Lyon.
Well, exactly.
But if Cummins isn't playing, I think they kind of have to.
Yeah, I just look at this moment in time and go, this is the thing that excites me about the England bowling attack is that Australia's bowling attack on paper is fantastic. It's the best that you'll come over as a collective unit in world cricket. But there are little cracks. Can Hazelwood get through? What's happening with Cummins? England's bowling attack on paper is phenomenal, right?
Is it?
Not.
What did you say?
But it's not
I'm
proven.
not sure phenomenal.
I think it is. I mean,
so here's the barometer. Phenomenal here.
I would say it's okay.
If a fully fit Mark Wood turns up, fully fit Jofra Archer turns up, Atkinson, Carse, a fully fit Stokes turns up.
So
I think on paper, this is what I'm saying, on paper, England's bowling attack has got the potential to be unbelievable. But
phenomenal.
But the problem you've got is where Australia's on paper is being proven it's unbelievable. England's hasn't. And
so who's England's third best seam bowler?
England's third best seam bowler.
Yeah.
Well, I think I would personally play 5. I would play 5 seamers.
But if Jofra and Wood are the numbers 1 and 2, right? Who's the third best?
You're probably looking at this moment in time with the way things have gone and performance. We'd probably look at Atkinson.
So he's not in Australia's best 4 though, is he? He's not even close to. At least Jofra could be in the top 4, and Wood is a slightly different skill set, so you might pick him.
It's
a big drop off.
But does Atkinson make it to Australia's top 4 if Cummins doesn't play?
He's a good like for Cummins, but no.
So you would say that Hazelwood, Stark, Boland, for sure, right? Yeah. Would come in ahead of Atkinson if you were picking a combined 11.
Yeah.
There's no Cummins, and you're going in all pace. You'd say that Atkinson would not play.
He's not a better bowler than
Jai Richardson.
He's not.
Or Michael Neeson.
I don't even think he's close to Jai Richardson.
But listen, you've also got to remember.
Is he fit?
Yeah, but that he won't be fit.
What's got to balance the group up. Atkinson, I think, is a great foil for Wood and Archer.
Oh no, I get that.
And Carse, we talked about it. Just before there, talking about the way he performs. Like he gets wickets with good balls and he gets wickets with bad balls. Does Bryden Carse? He has this knack. Now they complement the 2 fast lads. The 2 fast lads aren't going to play probably in, I would say, 1 test, other than 1 test together. The rest of the time, it's only probably going to be one of them. But I'm saying first test match in Perth, if everybody's fit, potentially England have got an unbelievable bowling attack, but they haven't proven it.
I think they've got a bowling attack.
They haven't proven it.
Look, I thought Carse went missing. I thought Carse went missing against India.
But Atkinson, for me, complements Wood and Archer very, very well on Australian-type pitches.
He might. I mean, I thought Carse went missing, and I think Atkinson's been in a funk for a year, right? So on paper, I suppose I can get there to a certain extent, but I've got 2 injury-plagued bowlers who haven't played a lot of Test cricket of recent times. I've got Cast, who the last time I saw him looked underwhelming and seemed to get tired almost every Test match. That may not happen in Australia because the games might be so short, it might not cause a problem.
And they've had a break.
Yeah, and Atkinson for a long period of time was bowling 135 kilometres dead straight, right? So he's going to have to start getting the ball to move or bowl quicker again, right? So I understand your overall point, but if like Boland's the 4th best seamer, right? Boland might still be the first choice in England.
We're forgetting Josh Tongue as well.
Yeah.
I would say that Josh Tongue possibly is.
He probably is a starter. He should be a starter for what he's done.
He probably plays.
Yeah.
What about if you take Cummins out of this, not just as a bowler, but as the captain? How does that change things up? Lawrence Booth saying this week that he thinks Steve Smith's a better captain anyway. So actually that, I'm not saying it would work in Australia's favour because there is complete buy-in from that Australia's team with Cummins in much the same way there is with England and Stokes. But that wouldn't be so much of a loss, would it, if Smith comes in as captain?
Tactically, he's better than Cummins, but Cummins does the work. So quite often, Smith will rely on the fact that he's got a great cricket brain and he might be able to outthink you on the field. Whereas Cummins has done, he'll come in with plan A, B, C, D, E, and F, partly because he knows he's not as good tactically as other captains, right? He does all the work beforehand. It does mean that when something happens on the ground, he can't always catch up with it, but you have to go through all of his plans to get to the point where he's making the mistake, right? Whereas Smith is much better on the fly. If you can partner all the research with Smith, so when Smith goes out there, he has all those plans and the team buys into it, and then you add Smith's tactical genius, that is probably a slight upgrade. I would say that team is actually less led by one person and more led by like a collective unit than most teams are. I think Travis Head, Marnus Labuschagne, Steve Smith, Alex Carey, Josh Hazlewood, even Mitchell Starc and Nathan Lyon all have a little say in how it's run. So it's not like taking a Brearley-like figure out or a Dhoni-like figure out. It's more like taking someone out who's like the head of a committee. If that's the case, you should be able to just slot someone else in. And Smith brings other things. There were so many times during the last Ashes where Smith was screaming at Cummins to change the field. And Cummins was like, no, this is the plan. And Smith's like, yeah, that's not working. So we need to do something else. So I think they actually play well together because you've got one guy who is more ethereal, another guy who's like, no, we came in, we said we were going to do this, we're going to do it until it doesn't work, and then we'll change to something else. So yeah, I don't think it's a massive step back. The batting doesn't help though.
Well, that's what the next point, because let's say Nathan Lyon plays.
Yep.
Okay, he's number 11, unless Boland plays, in which case Boland might be the number 11.
Yeah,
Hazelwood's isn't going to score a run, so that's 9, 10, 11.
Yep.
And you're not going to get much out of those three.
No.
And then Stark, I guess, would be at...
He'll be at 8.
He'll be at 8.
Yeah, and he used to bat at 8.
Yeah. So that does weaken the tail. And story, or if we're led to be believed, that these pitches are not going to be very batting friendly. So they could be facing an India problem, which they had this year, where they did all the hard work, and then, they were 7 down, and then they were out for zip.
Look, that is 100% possible, and there isn't really a way of fixing that, with the way that they're structured at the moment. I suppose if they got to a situation where I think they were preparing to not play Lyon in the Ashes. And so he was let go in one of those tests against the West Indies. They don't bowl him anymore. I did the numbers, I did a piece for the Cricketer. Have a look, they just don't bowl him, so there's no point in playing, right? If that was the case, I think the bowler that they would have brought in would probably have been Neser as the backup so that they get a little bit more batting.
Yeah.
Right? And if they bring Neser in, they do have to... The problem with Neser is he needs the new ball, and that causes some issues with Stark, right? Because Stark also wants a new ball. But if you bring Neser in and you play Boland, then you've got probably Neser at 8, Stark at 9, and they don't really have as much of an issue with that. And Neser's probably a better bat than Cummins, right? But you're still losing something overall, right? You're losing the guy who's been leading the team for a while. You're losing continuity, I think, as much as
you're probably losing the lead, not only the leader of the bowling attack, but the man that has broke the game up more often than not when the pitches are flat. Now, we might not be playing on flat pitches, but if you lose Cummins, you're basically saying we're going to lose the man who we expect to take the most wickets in this series. Yeah. So psychologically, that's massive for England. I don't think it's an issue with the captaincy. I think the captaincy is the last thing I would be worried about as an Australian fan, because, like we said, with Steve and with Pat, there's not much of a difference. I just think from a psychological point of view for England, the elements of luck that you have to have in the Ashes series, going through 5 Test matches before a ball's bowled, England have probably had the biggest one they'll have in all 5 Test matches if he's not playing. And I think that's something England can feed off. I really do think they can feed off going into that first game. Now, we don't know where England's going to be, because the preparation is not going to be. They're not going to be playing against like 3 Australian 11s to find out who's scoring runs, who's doing what.
Are they not going to Lilac Hill?
They're going to Lilac Hill, but they're going to be playing against
The Lions.
the Lions.
Yeah.
So, what sort of pictures are we going to get? Looking at the surfaces on the stream so far from Australia, there's a lot of green grass flying around. So
Yeah, wherever Conster seems to be playing.
yeah.
But if you're playing where Labuschagne is playing, then it runs as far as you can see.
But that also has an effect on quite a few things. So if there's more green grass on it, it means the ball's not going to be as abrasive, and it's going to stay. The kookaburra is going to stay more conditioned for that. Maybe it's 5 overs longer. So then your new ball bowlers are a little bit more effective, which sounds as though it's such a little thing, but with England's top order and with Australia's top order being fragile, 5 overs with the kookaburra doing a little bit more could actually make a huge difference in the contest of when Joe Root bats and when Steve Smith bats, because it looks probably that.
Well, Smith might bat at 3 anyway.
He might have to bat at 3.
They're already changing. I mean, I don't think the Cummins thing makes as much of a difference.
It's just the ball for me.
Yeah, but if there's an injury on top of the do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when I think it becomes interesting.
Yeah.
So I still think they have by far the best bowling attack. And generally, if you have the best bowling attack at home, you should win a series, right? But this makes it a little bit more even again.
What's the score in the Ashes if Cummins plays all 5?
I had Australia winning 3-2, even with or without Cummins.
And if they don't have Cummins for all 5?
That's what I'm saying. I have.
Whatever
If he does, I think they'll still win 3-2.
Harmy, score with or without Cummins?
Like I agree with Jarrod. I don't think Cummins makes a massive difference on the outcome of the 5 Test matches. I think England. I've just got this feeling that it's the first time in a long time I've sat and believed that England are going to do something in Australia. I've said it in previous tours, but I've never believed it. I think in this tour, depending on how the bowling attack goes, if they can get their combinations right and the bowlers stay fit, I think England have got a bowling attack to go over there and take 20 wickets. And I think England's middle order batting, especially with Smith at 7 over Carey, I've just got a funny feeling England are going to do something special and potentially win 3-2, or is it a draw 2-2 with a washout here or there? But I think England will win. I still think England can win 2, possibly 3 Test matches, and that would be them winning the Ashes.